Hi, my name is Jane Pack. I'm currently a third year English teacher at American Canyon High School. I graduated from UC Davis having majored in English and Human Development. I have a dog named Uni, and this is going to be about my life. Okay, so my life has been the life of a very stereotypical, very cliche Asian family, an immigrant family, because I'm the daughter of two immigrants who came from Korea during the 80s. I'm the youngest of two children in my family, and my parents, since I can remember, expected me to pretty much be the best that I could possibly be. So I grew up with a lot of pressure on my academics. I also grew up with a lot of comparisons being made between me and my sister, or me and some family friends' children. That wasn't exactly the most positive or healthy environment to grow up in, but I do admit that it pushed me to try harder in certain areas. And I do attribute my success to my parents, because my mom pushed me to play piano. My mom pushed me to go to Korean school on Saturdays since I can remember. She also got me to get private tutoring for chemistry, for math, for piano, for English, for Korean, SATs as well. And I think if I didn't have someone pushing me like that, I don't know if I would have gotten to the point where I wanted to be at the age that I am now. My sister, who is 2 years older than I am, she was a huge influence in my life because we didn't have that much of an age difference. And she was always naturally good at just about everything that she tried, and so she always had a talent. She was really good at art. She loved to read and write, and I just struggled with everything that I could possibly imagine. And it really was because of her that I kind of gained some confidence in my English skills, because she was kind of the one who sat down next to me and helped me read through certain books, analyze certain novels because of our similar English classes in high school. And she was always very headstrong. She was kind of that, role model, that strong, independent girl or woman in my life that I could look up to. So that was my life summary. The biggest thing that made me want to become a teacher is because I struggled with English since I could possibly remember. So I went to a private school, and I had the same teacher for English, for math, and for Spanish. And all that teacher did was say, hey, open up your book, do problems 1 through 35, and she never went over it. So when I transferred to a public high school, I automatically tested into honors English. I don't know how. And the first task of the day after summer was write a thesis statement for the summer reading. When my teacher said thesis statement, I had no idea what it was. So I just kind of sat there feeling really stupid while everyone around me was able to come up with this thesis statement very easily. So I struggled with English freshman year, sophomore year, and somehow I got accepted into IB English as a junior and senior, and that's where I met two of my most inspirational teachers, and they made me feel like I could actually be good at something. So I knew from then I wanted to teach English, because it's a skill that you need in every single class, every single major. It doesn't matter if you want to major in math or bio or physics, you're going to have to be able to communicate your ideas very effectively. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to share what you know. My favorite part about being a teacher is hands down my relationships with my students. Yes, there are times where I get really frustrated with their efforts in class or lack thereof, but the kids at American Canyon are really the best. I remember my first year of teaching where I came into this school and I really had no idea what to expect. The principal said, oh yeah, our kids are the best, and I just kind of brushed it off to the side. But after my first year of teaching, that really solidified, me wanting to stay a teacher until I die, I guess. The biggest way that I have changed from my very first day of teaching to my third year of teaching, and I'm sure all teachers will agree with me when I say this, is I've become so much more cynical and so much more sarcastic. I more frequently use the words such as hooligans, quiet down, shush, I'll wait until you're ready, and so many others that I probably shouldn't repeat on camera. But of course, not actually that last hand comment. Yes, I've become much more cynical, but that doesn't mean I stop loving my students. I'm just more cynical about it. Things change, the more they stay. My favorite memory of teaching is of a student that I had 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago, I forgot. But this student struggled with writing, and she had absolutely no confidence in her ability to write. She averaged maybe F's and D's in her writing of essays, and this wasn't me being extra harsh, I don't think, or me being extra nice when I gave her those D's or D pluses. But that was just her average grade. And no matter how much she complained, she would always come back to me and ask, what can I do to fix this? Even though she was asking very begrudgingly. And by the end of the year, her average essay grade went from about a D or an F to a solid B. And when I ask her how she's doing in her current humanities class now, she's actually averaging a B in one of the hardest humanities 11 classes. And I think that's probably my most favorite memory, since it also feels really rewarding for me and her as well.
Miss Pack is a person who has a personality that, I don't know how to explain it. She kind of is like infectious. She kind of gives you like the tone, like, you know, that she's a friend, but at the same time that she really wants the best in you, so she kind of pushes you to do your best. And I don't think she realizes it, but she's actually kind of funny. She tries to be serious. Sometimes, you know, she'll stand on chairs because, you know, being taller kind of sort of gives her more authority, but she gives off the impact that I think that a lot of kids actually think that she cares about them, because she does. And it's not just because she's a teacher, it's because she honestly does think that she's going to save the world and open up a school of Miss Pack someday, because she does. She has a big heart, but she does it, I think, with giving off the impression that she kind of sort of is really strict on deadlines and stuff, but really she cares a whole lot, and I think that comes out through her teaching and through her students and her relationships with people, and she's just a fun person to be around. To think about why.
My life outside of school is actually quite bland. I wouldn't categorize myself as a normal 20-something-year-old, because even when I started teaching at, I want to say 23, 24, I like to be home very early. So even though I stayed after school in class, you know, 2 hours on average every day to prepare for the next day, as soon as I got home, I would change into my pajamas, eat dinner, and then either grade or watch TV, YouTube, do more schoolwork, and that was pretty much my life. And it still is to some degree today, except now I have a significant other and a dog that I have to kind of take care of. I also like to travel a lot. For example, the most recent place that I went to was Vegas to watch a Backstreet Boys concert, and it was awesome. So I really like traveling and kind of exploring now that I have a little bit more free time. My purpose in life is, at least at this point, is honestly to teach to the best of my ability. And I know that sounds very cliche, very stereotypical of me to say, but my students literally are my life. I wake up and I think about them. I go to sleep thinking about them. And there are some students behind this camera who are making faces, strange things, but they're literally all I think about, because I try to figure out ways to help the student who might not understand whatever concept we're learning. And that student who just constantly butts heads with me, that's a student that I worry about the most. So I guess my students are my purpose in life at this point.
My favorite thing about Miss Pack is that she is realistic when it comes to teaching. Like, she won't try to sugarcoat anything when it comes to your grade, and she'll like be there for you. She'll become personal with you, and it's just like it's like having a friend, but it's also like having like that one friend that just wants to help you and everything. And she's just very understanding.
I think she's fairly easy to talk to. She's only 10 years older than us, right? So she's still very relatable in society. She still talks about a lot of the things that we talk about. She still watches a lot of the shows. She's just easy to talk to.
For me, the thing I like about Miss Pack the most is that you really know she's talking, like what she's talking about is true. Like, she's trustworthy and all. And like Julie said, she's like not really that old, so she isn't as unapproachable as most teachers are.
My favorite thing about Miss Pack is that she taught me how to manage my time, and she's like more of our age, so she understands what high school students struggle with.
What I love most about Miss Pack is she's my person. I've taught a lot of times at the school. I've co-taught with 3 different people, and Miss Pack is somebody that you can be yourself around. She's funny, she's realistic, she's honest, she's just normal. The thing I love most about her is that we'll both come in at the beginning of the day. We'll be like, "What are we doing today?" "I don't know," and we have nothing. But yet, when we get to class, we'll find something to do. She doesn't judge me. She's just a normal person. She doesn't have an ego. She doesn't have, something to prove. She just shows up, and it's not like working when you're working with. I mean, I consider her my friend, so it's not like working with her every day. It's more like coming to work and hanging out, and we get to do something that we both love, which is teach. So she's actually kind of funny, and she has a huge sense of humor, so that makes working with her super, super fun.